Hi, I'm Greg Cross. I'm Executive Chairman of Power by Proxy, a wireless power company all the way from Auckland, New Zealand. The company's 4 years old. I'm one of the co-founders. We put together a wireless power company to focus on unplugging power cables all over the world. Our initial commercialisation focus has been in the industrial sector, but in the last few months we've started to launch our consumer technology. And this here is the world's first wirelessly rechargeable battery. The concept of wireless power dates way back to the late 1800s with Nikola Tesla, who came up with the original concept. But it's been a long time between the initial concept and the commercialisation of the technology. So it's a technology that's starting to come into its own these days. We started in the industrial component space, so looking at literally unplugging the power cable in hostile industrial environments. So, if you've got a power cable in an industrial environment where you've got a moving joint or a rotating joint, mechanical connections are never going to be very good. They're going to give you a lot of downtime. They're going to cause a lot of operating and maintenance cost. So with a wireless solution where you're removing that cable, you're removing that mechanical connection point, you can actually end up with a great solution. Yeah, I mean the underlying technology is induction power, as you've talked, but it's a very, very new generation, very smart, very intelligent wireless power. We have developed a core technology which we call dynamic harmonization control, which means we can be very efficient. The way in which we connect the transmitter and the receiver can be very flexible, and we can draw just enough power. The receiver will draw just enough power from the transmitter to do what it needs to do. So it's a very efficient form of energy use as well. We're kicking off the next round of next funding round at the moment. From a capital strategy point of view, it's been great here to talk to some venture capital investors. We've done 2 rounds of capital so far, Series A and Series B, so it would be a Series C round. So this has been an opportunity to kick off those discussions with some of the venture capitalists here. We're also in discussions with a number of strategic investors as well. So there's a bunch of options, and we sit around the board table debating and trying to work out the right way forward. Wireless power could literally end up in every consumer technology device that gets built and gets sold in the future. The industrial component markets, wireless power could end up in every car that is produced in a number of different places, not just the recharging of the recharging of electric vehicles. I mean, that's one form of wireless power, but when you're driving in cars, there's multiple sensors going into the cars now, which getting the power to those sensors in the future may be best done using wireless power. We may be able to substantially reduce the amount of cabling going into a car or an aeroplane in the future. In the competitive landscape, like any new technology, there are always lots of competitors. We have competitors, a number of well-funded competitors coming out of the US. There's Israeli companies in the space. We've also seen competitors here in Europe, Germany, and Japan. So like anything in the technology space, there is competition. The challenge for any entrepreneurial organisation working with platform technologies is focus. So for us, the really important thing is staying really focused on which markets we engage in, which customers we work with, because if we get too broadly focused, you don't achieve the wins, you don't achieve the progress that you need to. So it's I keep telling my sales organisation, I keep telling my directors, focus, focus, focus. It's what drives our company. The next 12 months tremendously exciting for us. We've put a huge investment, not just in building our technology and developing our intellectual property and our patent portfolio over the last 4 years, but we've spent a lot of time engaging in conversations with some really important companies. We've actually signed agreements which I can't talk about publicly today because we are in R&D and in development cycles. And the really exciting thing for me is a number of those big projects, and some of those are 3 years old, are going to break cover and are going to get announced over the next 12 months. And You know, I mean, and all of a sudden, you know, we'll get to realise, you know, some of the benefits and some of the revenue opportunities from, you know, from all that hard work. So it's, you know, like, we feel a bit like an iceberg at the moment. There's only the tip of it showing above the waterline at the moment, and there's been all this hard work, and that's going to come to the surface, and that's hugely exciting for us. I mean, that will see us achieve some real revenue growth, and some even more important wins over the next 12 months.